I'm Tim Roble, and welcome to another episode of Adventure Athlete. Today we're going to talk more about my Can-Am Maverick XRC. Thing is amazing. I gotta be honest. Right now, this is like the only thing that really goes through my mind. I got the 35-inch Maxxis Rockzillas mounted up on the factory beadlock wheels, and I have to say I really love the stance and the way the car looks. Tire and wheel package, I'm going to say we added about 13 pounds per corner. For somebody such as myself trying to chase weight, that's not a good thing, especially in the drivetrain. But I'm going to go out and do some testing, and like I said, I got two sets of 35s to test. The other set is the Tensors. So on my trailer, once I get the car up, I'm going to go ahead and fab a tire rack up front. And that way I can take out two complete sets of tires and go from there. So let's talk about a little bit of my thoughts and theory on this. I have a lot of seat time out in Johnson Valley. I have more handlebar time. Time behind the bars of a extreme enduro machine. And you learn a lot. You want to keep the weight low, even on the motorcycle and what you're carrying. For car and how I build a car, weight, and if I got to carry weight, I want to carry weight as low as I can. Now, theory-wise, I've been working only with the tools that I have and carry in the car. I have bags that go underneath the seats, and that's what I use to do some wrenching on the car. I find like if I need something, great. If I don't, I start setting things aside, and I'm transferring things out of one bag into the other, and then I'll start maybe after the second month, start pulling those tools out and hopefully not need them. I don't want to carry more weight than I have to. In the back, so this back half of the car is kind of done. And you can see that I got some major changes going on back here for what I'll call a semi-stock vehicle. I took the bars back here and removed the factory bars and the factory tray. And I had to push the belt duct in a little bit, and I did some modification on that bracket. And the biggest factor that I'm surprised a lot of factory people don't mess with is the exhaust placement, where the exhaust is in this car. Especially factory carries a lot of heat and carries a lot of weight, and it takes up a lot of space, like back in this area where you can see I have the jack mounted. Now with the 35s, I did have to change up my mount. Ended up the tire fit a little bit different, and wasn't a big difference, but was an inch and a half that I had to move the mount up. How I have the spare mounted is just on factory lug nuts and lugs, and that seems to work out really well. You can tell that I flipped the shock reservoirs. I want to keep those low and out of harm's way as possible. Now, is this a perfect solution? I don't really know right now. So far I haven't had any problems with rock damage, but I've moved them down and a little further. I flipped them around, so the hoses and everything. I'm just thinking about if the car gets upside down, that I don't want a dinky reservoir and mess that up. Talking about the exhaust, you can see that I built my own. It was about $102 worth of parts off of eBay, and I welded up some S-bends, and I used the factory collector, cut out the cat, and did an expansion chamber. I am going to add a screen to the end here to make this like a Forest Service approved exhaust anyway. But you can see I wanted to carry the weight low. Keeping everything low in the car helps your roll center and your center of gravity in the car. So if we can just keep moving things down low, and for me, carrying less weight, I'm starting to really analyze every piece that I put on this machine. Another thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about is making things easier to work on. Let me roll this car forward a little bit. So one of the big things that we see with this, and especially running 35s, is I may have belt issues. Now I know Evo makes a super crazy belt for these, so I may be doing some testing if that's something that I start to go through. You see here on the cover that I went with the quick pin kit, And I did a clutch liner. Another thing that I did to do this is I put the belt temp gauge on there, and you know, I only saw temps of like 120, and I thought that was pretty acceptable. But if I do blow a belt, now I have a liner that's been installed, and to do the liner you have to pull this cover, and then you need a clutch removal tool to actually pull the clutch off, and then the rear carrier back here, I guess that's a slave or a sheave. Pull that off, and that whole cover comes off, and you can take it on the bench. So it made for easy work of mounting these pins. So now I just take the screw loose up top, I pull all the pins, I pull the cover. I can have that off in less than a minute now, and I put the clutch tool on it and suck everything in, and change a belt and put the cover back on, probably somewhere around the 3 to 5 minute range, which is pretty efficient for me. You can see just how tight my tolerances are on the jack, and the jack has 2 bolts in the back, and then it has a quick pin in the back to pull it to get rid of the jack. You can see over here just kind of how low I try to keep everything. I move the fire bottle back and down and out of the way. I like it a lot more. Got the spout facing down so it doesn't collect dust. My S&B particle separator we talked about last time, I have that all notched and keep that low, so I have relatively good visibility out of the car. The next big step is going to be to fabricate a cage, and I'm going to do things a little bit different than they do in the industry. I'm going to pull this whole front clip, and I'm going to build the cage so nothing is higher than like this area right here. Probably going to end up doing some cutting on plastics and try to push everything down. And then I do plan on trying to put the front of the car down on an angle. Those of you that drive X3s, you know that visibility out of these cars, especially in the rocks, is real tough. Little things like this pillar here, how far this transfers back. I'm going to get rid of some of the bulk here and allow me to see the wheel and what I'm stacking on. Other than that, that's about what I wanted to give you for updates. I have not tested the wheels, and I'm going to be out of town for the next week, so I'm not going to get anything done there, and then I'll be back and then back to client stuff for a while. So I got a little bit to go before I can get to testing, but I'm living life to the fullest every day. This car is keeping me up at night just thinking about cool things to do to it. It's been a nice addition to finally work on another car for myself. I build cars for clients all the time, but it's nice to do something for yourself finally and get to have no compromises. You get to simply put your thoughts and collective into and theories into your vehicle build. There's no compromises with the client that may want things his way, and that's what I'm here for, is to do things that a client wants, and that a client gets 100% satisfaction out of building his car or her car. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to lay out a buffet and say, hey, this is what I'm doing. But for me, it's super neat to be able to apply my theories 100% of the way I would like it done and apply that to this car. So that's going to be it for now. If you like this type of thing, please hit like and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you guys for watching my videos and putting up for my rants. And maybe collectively we can all learn from each other. That's why I do try to get to the comments. And so you got a question, you want to know why I'm doing something the way I'm doing it, hit me up in the comments and ask a question. And you know, I don't always get things right the first time, so it's nice to have people say, hey, this is what I've done, and this worked well for me. And I might take that theory and run with it, and I might just take that and you know, go with my own, because in the end I want to build this 100% for me and my thoughts and theories, and to showcase those in this car. That's going to be it for now. You know I'm long-winded. I'm Tim Roble. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you here next time.